We only got one basketball question, so let's go ahead and touch on it. It's been very quiet on the basketball front. We will say, though, we did get confirmation today. There was some questions before you answer the question. There were some questions about whether Chance Moore, the 4-star transfer from St. Bonaventure, I believe,
Yep.
whether he was going to be eligible or not, I think was the question, I believe, based on eligibility rules or something. I don't know all the details. But anyway, it was announced today that he was eligible. Go check. Jonathan did an article on it over at the website. Go check it out. Jonathan also did an article about the Beanie Bishop situation today. If you want to hear more about that, he wrote a piece on that. But so there was a little bit of basketball news that broke today, but it wasn't really unexpected news, just something we'd been waiting to hear. But the question about basketball from the fans was true or false? Ross Hodge will have WVU in Sweet 16 this year. You go first.
Well, I appreciate that. So if I have to pick one, you know what? I'm going to say true. And
wow.
I'll tell you why I say that.
I'm writing this down as a hot take, John.
Yeah. Well, I tell you why I say that, Couz. First off, in what little bit we've got to know Ross Hodge, I think he's a winner. I think he's a winner. He's done a couple things. He's done one particular thing at a couple different stops that gives me hope that I can give you the answer of true. And that is at his stops where he's been, both stops, junior college and then at North Texas, he's immediately turned around and won basketball games quickly, very quickly. So that gives me hope. Number two, even though the roster's not completely filled out, I like what he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's done an excellent job of getting scores of the basketball. I think he's done an excellent job of bringing a couple guys over from North Texas that are familiar with what he's going to implement at West Virginia. And then third, I think he's also going to mix in that defensive mentality that he's talked about since he's been coaching. And so the fact that I think he can do those three things, now I'm not backtracking here, but if I can obviously keep the asterisk of players stay healthy, all these guys, the Chance Moore, as you talked about, are able to maintain that eligibility. There are some things that kind of have to go right, correct? But if all things do go, nothing like a early June hot take for the men's basketball team. Couz, I'll say true.
You're braver than me. Sweet 16 in year one with a roster rebuild, that is a lot to expect. Look, if they can just I'm going to say the same thing I said last year. If they can just make the NCAA tournament, I think it's a successful season. And that, as we saw last year, easier said than done. In this conference, in the Big 12 with Houston and Kansas and Iowa State and Baylor and that juggernaut that they have, and BYU now, that juggernaut they have to play, man, that's a lot to ask for a first year coaching at the Power 4 level, rebuilding the entire roster. Same thing DeVries had to deal with. Can it be done? Yes. Will he do it? I'm going to say no, just because I just think it's a lot to ask in year one. I'm sure he expects to do that, right? I mean, every coach probably would, but as a fan who typically likes to see the glass half empty, I'm going to say no. Hey, do me a favor. Go check out my good friends over at Appalachia Digital. If you need a brand new website for your small business, or if you're just looking to get found easier on Google, go check out AppalachiaDigital.com/Couz. These are the fine folks who designed my brand new website over at WVSportsChat.com. They did a fantastic job. I love their work. I think you will too. So go check them out. AppalachiaDigital.com/Couz. Let them know Couz sent you. Now let's get back to the show.
Well, I realized it was year two at North Texas, but I think he won 9 more games in his second year at North Texas than he did his first year with all but one new player. Or all new players except for one. So it gives me hope that he can turn this around quickly. Mm-hmm. I really like where he's at with the roster, what he's done with it, the way he's kind of molded it so far and shaped it. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got your floor leader. It's got your scorers. It's got your defenders. It's got your rebounders. It's got your guys who know what he's going to do. Listen, is it going to be difficult? Sure, it is. Heck, we can't agree on everything, so I'll say true.
Yeah.
And if it does happen,
Yeah.
I will replay the heck out of this video. I'm just
That's
saying.
why. Actually, that's the only reason you did it is so you could have something to hold over my head.
I'm just saying
Uh,
this video will get millions of views. I'll play it soon. I promise.
it might get more than the balloon video that we had happen there.
I will release the balloon video on top of this video show that it happened.
Oh man, I wish I remembered what episode number that was so I could tell people to go back and check it out.
Oh
But I
man.
don't remember. My memory's not that good. I do want to before we move on from basketball, real quick. I want to get your what does Chance Moore being on this team? I mean, how big of maybe it's a bigger deal than
Yeah.
what we made it out to be. Do you think it's a how big of a deal is it? in
Yeah,
your
it's a
mind?
big deal. Yeah, it's a really big deal. Somebody that's a veteran presence, played a lot of basketball games at St. Bonaventure. Somebody that's long, athletic, 6'8", 6'9". Um, he's a defender. He's a rebounder. He can score the basketball, but I don't know that that's going to be his primary role. But yeah, somebody that's just really athletic. Him and Lorient, Brent Lorient down
Mm-hmm.
low, they just give you that versatility, the athleticism out of these forwards. They're going to be somebody that can play down low, somebody that can stretch. But again, as you noted, in a roster turnover, if they are going to have success next season, somebody like Chance Moore is important.
Yeah.
Because you need that presence, you need his versatility, and as we saw last year, you need some depth and you need it down low, and he's
Yep.
somebody that can give you that. So, yeah, he's a very important piece in this rebuild for sure.
Yep. Agreed. All right. After I kind of glossed over it, and after I thought about it, I thought, well, maybe we shouldn't gloss over that. I think he
Yeah,
might be a bigger piece of this puzzle than I was giving it credit for.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
okay.